Hi and welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Vince. Thanks for stopping by. You're very welcome here indeed. So the FDA is looking into whether a chemical that is used to make the majority of decaffeinated coffee should be banned. Methylene chloride binds to and extracts caffeine from the beans that is used in major chains such as Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. But campaigners say the fact that the chemical has been linked to cancer in rats makes it illegal, pointing to a little-known 1958 rule that outlaws food additives that animal studies show could cause cancer. The FDA is currently considering a petition from campaigners at the Environmental Defense Fund to ban decaf coffee that's made using methylene chloride, with a response expected from them within a few months. It could leave America's 10 million decaf coffee drinkers without access to the brew or to its claimed benefits. Benefits that include boosting heart health and also longevity. And as a result, America could face a shortage of decaffeinated coffee. The 1958 law, known as the Delaney Clause, states that no additive shall be deemed to be safe if found to induce cancer when ingested by man or animal. These campaigners successfully used that rule in 2018 to petition a ban on 7 artificial food flavourings commonly used in ice cream and in candy, such as Pulagon, which is used to imitate the flavour of peppermint. They are now hoping to do the same with methylene chloride. The chemical is found in decaf beans in trace amounts, with most being washed away after the decaffeination process or destroyed when the beans are finally roasted. Toxicologists claim that the amount is so little that the boiling water to which the beans are finally added likely contains more of that particular chemical. But studies have previously linked the chemical to cancers detected in both animals and humans, albeit through much larger doses. This graph shows how decaf coffee is made using the European method, and this is the most common method for making decaf coffee. Tests have shown that trace amounts of methylene chloride remain in the coffee even after this particular treatment. This includes a study in mice where the rodents developed tumours in the lungs and the liver after being exposed to methylene chloride that was in the air. And a 2013 meta-analysis in humans involving more than 3,000 adults found that participants exposed to this particular chemical had a higher risk of multiple myeloma, and that's a type of blood cancer. California recently became the first US state to ban cancer-causing food additives. This bill gives food companies 3 years to strip the ingredients from their product or face fines of up to $10,000. The campaigners say this is enough based on the law to force this method for decaffeination to be outlawed in the USA. This worked in 2018 when the agency agreed to the ban based on the law, despite saying it had reasonable certainty that the substances do not harm under the intended conditions of use. The petition is now closed for public comment, with a response from the FDA expected within about 90 days. As part of the process, the FDA will review the data in the petition to ensure it agrees with the findings. If so, it could then amend its regulations to no longer allow the use of methylene chloride in the manufacture of decaffeinated coffee. In 2018, when the agency outlawed the 7 food additives following a similar petition, the manufacturers were given 24 months to update their recipes. The FDA said at that time, although we are amending our food additive regulations for these synthetic flavouring substances in accordance with the Delaney Clause, the FDA's rigorous scientific analysis has determined that they do not pose a risk to public health under the conditions of their intended use. The synthetic flavouring substances that are the subject of this petition are typically used in foods available in the US marketplace in very small amounts, and their use results in very low levels of exposure and low risk. Now, there are alternative methods to decaffeinate coffee, including washing the beans using steam, this being known as the Swiss method. But manufacturers insist this process is much more expensive and less effective than the method using the chemical. And the method using the chemical is more commonly known as the European method. Bill Murray, the president of the National Coffee Association, told the Daily Mail, a UK newspaper, Decaf would certainly be in short supply if baseless bans are pushed through at federal and state levels. The majority of decaf is made using the European method. That's using methyl chloride and has been for more than 50 years. Unjustified bans would, in fact, deprive decaf drinkers of the significant health benefits evidence shows are associated with drinking coffee, European decaf method included. Various studies have linked exposure to the chemical in rodents to cancer, with papers going as far back as 1986. They showed that exposure to methylene chloride in the air led to tumours in the lungs and also in the liver. The EPA said in 2016 that animal studies have also shown increases in tumours in breasts following inhalation of that particular chemical. A further assessment from that agency in 2022 said the chemical could cause nervous system and developmental problems. There have also been studies in humans linking this chemical to certain cancers. A meta-analysis published in 2013 involving more than 3,000 adults found that participants had a higher risk of multiple myeloma, that's a type of blood cancer, following exposure to this particular chemical. The participants were adults who manufactured camera film, which also contains that chemical. They were exposed to between 20 and 40 parts per million regularly via breathing in contaminated air. A separate meta-analysis, published this time in 2011, also pointed to the potential link between the chemical and brain, breast and liver cancer. Ironically, in 2021, a study published in Cancer Causes and Control that focused on liver cancer found that coffee consumption was associated with a significantly reduced risk of hepatocellular carcinoma, a type of liver cancer. The protective effect was observed for both caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee. And another study published in the European Journal of Preventative Cardiology that analysed just under 500,000 people who drank between 2 and 3 cups of coffee each day found that ground, instant and decaffeinated coffee were associated with equivalent reductions in the incidence of cardiovascular disease and death from cardiovascular disease or any cause. The results suggested that mild to moderate intake of ground, instant and decaffeinated coffee should be considered part of a healthy lifestyle. I'd be interested to know if any of you do drink decaffeinated coffee, and if you do you know which method is used in the coffee that you drink? Is it the Swiss or the European method? And I also wonder how many other coffee houses like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts use the cheaper methylene chloride method of decaffeinating their coffee. California at present is also considering its own separate ban on decaf coffee made using the methylene chloride process. Well, I hope you found this interesting or informative. Hopefully both. I really do look forward to your comments in the comment section below on this particular subject. I, for one, drink decaf in the afternoons and the evenings. This is normal coffee because it's the morning here. The coffee I do drink in the afternoons is made using the Swiss method, which appears to be the safest, but that's more by luck than by judgment. Although in the past I have drunk decaf coffee in Starbucks, much to my chagrin, because it is absolute pig swill. It's when friends of mine forced me to meet them there. I've also drunk Dunkin' Donuts decaf coffee, which I did find particularly nice.